So today we're going to Mickelbo, which we've just arrived at. It's sort of that little Halloween thing they've got on the farm here. Really cool place. They've got like animals and alpacas and Highland cows and camels. So
and a Halloween theme.
And a Halloween theme today. So it's gonna be fun.
You're riding on a high called ego, serving up a high buffet, sipping on your lies, but you don't know. I don't believe a word you say, drowning on your own. Still you ask for more, blindly on your throne, feasting on the empty praise, but still you say, feed me. You're lost inside your own illusions, the king of your own fantasy, swimming in your own solution, lost in a world of make-believe, drowning on your own, but still you ask for more, blindly on your throne, feasting on the empty praise, but still you say, feed me.
So I'm standing here next to our greenhouse, specifically here where the water comes in. And if you remember in the last video, we were digging the trench and putting in water, and we also put in anti-frost lines. Now with winter approaching, frost has come again, and we realized that the water for some reason is freezing in the greenhouse. And it turns out I was actually right. The water heaters that we put in underground, their thermostats sit on the opposite end of the plug. In other words, these thermostats sit all the way underground, and it doesn't get as cold there yet as it is getting up here on the surface. And for that reason, the water heaters aren't switching on. So what I've had to do is I installed another 1 meter pipe heater with the thermostat above here. Those will act as the heaters that work when it is not cold enough underground. So, lesson learned. So now that I wired up the cables, I want to show you something else that we also had to do for winter here. An ordinary fridge, but is it? Nay. So for those of you who are new to Swedish temperatures, and especially in the north of Sweden where it gets pretty damn cold, if you have a place that's like an unheated barn or any outdoor place that's not heated, and you're planning to store some chemicals or paint or stuff there, it's not really good to store it outside because it can freeze and lose its effectiveness or some of its properties. I got this old fridge that no longer functions, and I turned it into heated storage for my chemicals. And down here, see, I have a little heater, and this one switches on at just around 5 or 8 degrees Celsius. It will keep it nice and around that temperature in here. And I keep my gloves in here as well. And I know at first glance it looks stupid, but really good idea. There's so many times where I came out and I had to quickly do something, and I realized I have to put on my gloves. And as I put on my gloves outside, my working gloves, they are freezing cold, and it feels like your hands just never warm up. And putting them in here has really helped. I wanted to share with you guys the reason why it took so long for us to get the next video out. and the culprit is standing right here behind me. And that's our mushroom sterilizer. So let me start at the beginning. I assembled the drum a few weeks ago, and I then did a leak test. A few days after, I realized that the drum starts rusting quite badly, and this is because it's not a stainless steel drum. They go for about 7,000 crowns, as far as I could see. Anyway, so I bought the brand new normal drum. Then I decided, let's strip out everything and let's paint it. Now the paint I used is this stuff. The thinking behind it is it's undercarriage spray, so it's nice and thick, and also it is an anti-rust thing. Now it might be all of those things, but there's one catch. This crap never dries, like never ever. So I ended up spraying the entire drum inside. And it looks great, it looks amazing. I've actually even had it here under the heat pump blowing air into this. And this has been going on for about a week now. And the paint is still wet to the touch. Now I've asked on some Facebook forums as well if anyone else has used this in Sweden, and everyone says the same thing. They're like, it basically never dries. So some people say 10 days, some people say 30, some people say never. So I'm going to wait a little while still and see if this is going to dry. But if not, I'm going to have to take off all the paint and respray it with something else. And I really don't feel like that. Another thing I've been busy with is this controller for our mushroom super sterilizer, and it consists out of a switch and a PID controller, as well as a 3-phase solid state relay in there. Now it took quite long to get the solid state relay here and the PID, especially because the solid state relay is a 3-phase. Had to do a special order on that. Now we need to do the 3-phase wiring for it to run to this room. I've also gotten this mat that I can put under it just in case there's some drips. Yeah, and this thing over here is our substrate base. And this substrate base is what our mushroom substrates are going to stand on inside the barrel. It's all stainless bolts, nuts, washers, threads. And this is actually the coal grade for a Weber, and it is quite strong. And building that mushroom sterilizer, and I'm sorry guys, I know it doesn't really sterilize. I know it's actually more a form of pasteurization because the barrel is not pressurized, but these terms are used interchangeably with these bubble barrel type systems. Anyway, when I was busy building this steam sterilizer, it reminded me so much of the time when I built my ugly drum smoker. It was very, very similar in the just, you know, sanding it off inside and painting it and drilling holes and also making a similar mesh to the one behind me. So that was a lot of fun. So as at the time of recording this video, that paint is still wet. I've had the heater inside that barrel, everything, it will not dry. So it looks like I'm going to have to take the barrel and try get that paint off with thinners or something. Anyway, we'll catch up on that in the next video. Thanks so much for watching everyone. We'll see you next time. Cheers.